my name's Robin. I've been a breeder for 9 years.
And I'm Lisa Robinson, and I am also a breeder as well as a trainer. And we started pawTree, I think I started maybe 2 years before Robin. And
I've been for 3.
So we've added this as part of our breeding program. And I'll tell you, there's so many great benefits with pawTree, in addition to a phenomenal benefit to your breeding program. One of the things is it adds health benefits to your breeding program. I know when I started, I saw a big difference with my lab. I wasn't going to breed her because she was very prone to hot spots. And when I started her on the pawTree food, that completely diminished. And for several years, the vet would say to me, oh, it's just genetic. This is just her DNA. And it had to do with the food. So that just had me sold right away. The next thing that has happened is it reduces the frequency that I've spent with my vet visits. I've kind of tested this back and forth. There was one time I had puppies and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them not on pawTree. And I think everybody's done this maybe once. I did it twice because I was like, maybe that was coincidental. But I ended up taking them to the vet because they had diarrhea. And so it was so not worth the gamble of taking them off pawTree for a little bit to try, but that was in the early stages. I will never do that again because I've learned. And the other thing that's happened with pawTree is the food has been completely paid for our program. I know for me, that was one of my big selling points because I wanted to justify what I'm spending on our dogs because I just, they were eating better than my children for a minute. My college kids, but I wanted to have it paid for. So it was just one of those things where I could say, okay, this is worth investing into. And I will tell you, I've never looked back with that. It's been amazing. And not only does it pay for the food itself, it's also paid for vet visits. I know with Robin.
Stud fees.
Yes.
Mortgages.
Yep. And Robin just got a car that she paid for with the pawTree. And so it's exceeded completely my expectations. I started just thinking, I just want this, and it has just blown up into, oh my gosh, this is kind of endless possibilities. And so it's really helped with the cash flow, with having that extra income in between litters. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So I am super excited about being a part of the pawTree family. So I'm going to have Robin tell you a little bit more about the founder of the company and his vision and what that looks like.
Yep, Roger Morgan has been in the pet ed industry for over 2 decades. The thing that I like the best about this company is because he's had so much experience. And when he was formulating the food, he kept asking, the formulators kept asking him, well, what price range do you want to be with the food? And he kept saying, I don't want a price range, I want quality. And I just know we're going to stick with quality because this company's not going to sell out to the big guys. They're not going to cut corners. They source the stuff in America. It gets manufactured in America. Quality control. That's why I'm happy, so happy with pawTree.
And I'll tell you, for me, that is one thing that I really love and appreciate about this company because you know what you have in your product is what it is. And there's a lot of deception in the pet food industry. And so I like that I know what is in the food and they don't compromise. I'll tell you what we don't have in the products. We don't have any animal byproducts. There's no corn, there's no wheat, there's no soy. And I will tell you another thing that drew me into pawTree is I have celiac. And when I met Amber and Nancy, I actually met them at a gluten-free convention. And as a dog trainer, one of the things that I do is I have my hands in the treats and in the foods all the time, and my hands would get rashy. And it was because of the wheat that was in the product. And so that for me was another selling point. They don't have sugars, they don't have sweeteners, there's no artificial colors or flavors or preservatives. And we have no grains in our grain-free recipe and only healthy grains in our other recipes. And so that's another great selling point.
What we do have is real meat, real poultry, real fish in each of the recipes. It's high quality protein. We have added taurine for those that worry about that. We also have omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids. We're a natural source of DHA, to help support healthy brain development, both in the puppies and in the dogs. It's formulated to reduce stool, so it's very nutrient dense. Therefore, they eat less and poo less. One of the best things around.
And I'll tell you, right? It's kind of a funny thing, but if you're a breeder, we do talk about poo.
Poo all the time.
Like Robin will send me pictures of puppy poop, and I'm like, that's amazing.
My favorite picture of all is not that it did it on the wood floor, but my puppy did a heart-shaped poo. And I send it to people all the time. Even my dogs, even my puppies are happy about their poo. Sorry. It's one of my favorite things. We should have put it on the
But if you're a breeder, like you get it. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so impressive. Yay. So
it's very important. You can't send a puppy home if they've got diarrhea.
Nope. So it's a great thing. I'll tell you, there's a whole bunch of products that pawTree has. They have pet food seasoning. One of the things that I love to do with the paw pairing seasoning is that's how I train the puppies. I don't necessarily train them with the treats right away. I train them with the kibble, and I put a little bit of that seasoning on the kibble, and now that's their treat. I actually recycle the paw pairing bottles, and I will just shake it up a little bit.
Very smart.
Yeah, and then it's like, now it's like, tastes like salmon or beef or, whatever. But I will just put a little bit of that, and I train them with their food. They're not going to get the diarrhea from that because it's the food that they're eating with just a little bit of seasoning. So I love that as a training tool.
I want to talk about the health and the wellness products, because if you have one of your dogs that's getting older, the brain drops, amazing for them. Those that maybe they're getting old and their joints aren't working so well. But okay, can I talk about my favorite product of all? Everyone knows what it is. Gastro Pro Plus. It is a prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzyme, digestive herb. And I use it on my food, not on my food, on my dog's food. When I'm weaning the puppies onto the kibble, it works amazing. And my dogs seldom ever have diarrhea unless one of the kids feeds them something they shouldn't.
It's also a great thing to give your female dogs when they are after delivery, because they generally have diarrhea and it just settles their stomach a bit. And it's an excellent product. And so I love that. And it's the same thing, they have these products for cats as well. And so
can't leave out the cats.
Yep. So it's a great product. Their salmon oil is incredible. Helps for skin, helps for coats, and it's a phenomenal product as well. So those are some of our favorites.
So some of the things we've noticed over the years, and we contacted a lot of the other breeders in pawTree. So it's based on their results. Your results might vary, but pretty much everyone seems to be having the same. So some of the things we saw before we used pawTree is we talked about the high stool volume and that it's really stinky, and that our mom dogs or our puppies would have diarrhea. And this was one of the reasons that I was so happy when I found pawTree, because I was spending so much on my mom dogs, having diarrhea, going to the vet, $300 every time. And I was like, is this going to be worth it? If I'm having to spend so much every time she's pregnant and she has diarrhea and she's losing weight every time, I'm not going to be able to do it. This is what made me so happy. Lisa was over at my house and she said, I think there's something that you need to look at. And I did. I took the time and I've never looked back. I've been so happy about it. So she's going to tell you some of the other things we've noticed.
And I will tell you, I'm telling you guys, it's a game changer. My first litter that I had, my dog dropped, but she lost her coat. The poor thing. She just looked like, she needed some extra love and TLC. And I just thought, that was normal. I just thought, okay, this is normal. She lost her coat and she bless her heart, it's winter puppies in Utah, and she made it a sweater. I got her a really cute sweater, which is funny because it's the worst looking sweater you'll ever see. But when I started her on pawTree and the salmon oil and the probiotics, prebiotics with the Gastro Pro Plus, I'm telling you, it was a game changer. It did not. Yeah. She did not drop her
shiny coat.
Oh, absolutely. And my lab in particular, her coat will absolutely have a big difference with the pawTree products, and especially with the salmon oil. She's a lab, so she's always going to shed, but it definitely reduces.
Not like the cloud going behind her while she runs.
No. And you guys, I'm kind of funny. I like to do experiments with things where I'm like, let me try it with this, let me try it with that, and see what happens. And I'm telling you, it's completely changed my dog. And one more thing I want to add to that is when they are whelping, when they have their puppies, one of the things that my dogs are lovers, they love to just get right in my face and just love me, and I love them so much too. But when you've got your mama dogs and they're cleaning up after babies, you want to love on them and say, "You're so awesome, good job." But you're just like
stinky.
Yeah, like it's a new level of stinky breath in a dog. And the dental sticks.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was a changer too, because it really does help. And I just give them a little bit here and there as, they're doing their cleanup, and it definitely makes change with their breath. So
yes, it helps, because we needed to talk about this slide a little bit. We glanced over it a little bit before when we talked about how nutrient dense the food is. So this gives you an example of a mass-produced bargain brand, a leading national brand, and pawTree, and how much the dog eats. If you weigh it out pound by pound, we're not more expensive than the others because they eat less. If you do it calorie-wise, we are a much better bargain. So you'll be amazed at how little of the pawTree your dog will eat. So it won't be a shock for you.
Yeah, and it is very nutrient dense. And I use this story. Some of you have heard this before, but I had a Great Dane that was in my house for rescue. And when she came, her coat was just a mess. It was a mess. It was my first
caused her to be speechless.
Oh, it was not good. Bless her heart. But she came to my house, and it was the first dog that I had come to my home where I thought, I need to kind of put her in a certain area, because she just had the worst skin, the worst coat, the worst everything. Yeah. And I will tell you, her output was something to be had. I mean, it was
piles.
Yes. And I just went, I didn't even do a transition with her food. I just went right into the pawTree, salmon oil, GastroPro Plus, the food. And within less than a week, I started seeing a difference. And then within 2 weeks, it was really starting to show. And she had this beautiful black coat. And with that black coat, it was kind of easier to see what's happening with that coat and with her internally. And it was another thing. I was just like, I'm sold. So yeah, that was super important. The benefits is we have 8 different protein sources available.
Nate, can you name them? Because I think it's so important that we know that we have something besides chicken for the dogs.
You name them.
Okay. I talk about all the time. So we have chicken, turkey, duck, salmon, whitefish, trout, lamb. Did I get them all? I'm missing one.
One more. Lamb and...
It's okay. You'll look it up later. And what is so nice about that is because sometimes you'll find, like, my poodle doesn't do well with chicken. She gets very itchy skin. So I didn't have to go with another company. I just got a different recipe from what we had. And she does great on the lamb. No itchiness or anything.
And the other thing with having so many options with the food is your dog can transition. I have a dog that will eat, she doesn't care. She could eat chicken to the end of her days. But I have another dog that's like, when are we going to switch this up a little bit? And so I rotate the food blends that I'm giving her. She's never had an issue with diarrhea. She's been great. It's a really great option for these dogs. My parents' dog, we've got one that's got a little weight problem. And so it's great to be able to transition back to something that helps with weight management a little bit more. And it's just awesome. Like we said, there's just all natural ingredients. It's really awesome.
We need to point out that we have grain-free and with grain recipes. So people that feel that their dog needs to have grain, we have that. We have great sources of grain. We don't have any wheat in ours or corn. So we go with oatmeal or barley or rice. Those that are very nutrient dense compared to some of the other ones that can just go right through your system. I also like that the calcium and phosphorus, we have a great combination of that. And that you can find, if you have a big breed dog, then you can find the recipe that best fits with what you need, protein to fat ratio. Mm-hmm. They've taken that into account. So they've just really worked really hard for us to get everything we need.
Yeah, and there's also a natural source of glucosamine that is added into that's actually there, and that helps with joint health. And that is a game changer, especially as your dogs get older. It's so hard to see these dogs as they start to suffer. And I will tell you, I personally in my training program have seen senior dogs actually go back to a normal little stance when they're walking. They're still old. Like my Oakley, I have to You have to pick her up and put her in the car. But, because she's getting a little bit older, it breaks my heart. But I will tell you, if she was not on this food, it would change.
She wouldn't be leaving the house.
No, she wouldn't. And here's the other thing, and this is just a little side note. She had a vet appointment about 3 weeks ago just for a dental cleaning. I have not done a dental cleaning with her for about 6 years because I didn't feel like I needed to. And because she's got healthy teeth, she's got great breath, she's, everything seems fine. But
and that's amazing in an older dog.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought, she's getting older, so I'm going to just do a dental cleaning. I took her to the vet, and the vet, who happens to be my brother-in-law, said, where did you take her before me? And I said, I have not taken her to another vet.
That's high praise.
Yep. And he said her teeth are fine. Not one tooth was pulled, and it was a great introduction, to the vet to say, okay, this is a 10-year-old dog with great teeth. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
So some of the benefits that we've observed while using pawTree is that our little puppies are born with a higher birth rate, which is amazing. The moms keep their weight on. Sometimes you know how hard that is. The little puppies just drain the moms. We found that they have easier labors, a faster recovery time, less discharge after. That's always nice. They have less bleeding during their cycles. They're less hormonal, not so grumpy as you can sometimes they get. And the small little kibble that we have is preferred for puppies and moms. They like it the best.
Yeah, and I will tell you, the GastroPro with that is, we cannot sing praises enough. When you have tried it, you're sold. It's as simple as that. It helps alleviate some of that morning sickness I'll have. It's quick for weaning the puppies with minimal loose stool. And Robin's had great success where it didn't even.
Okay, I'll share my story because I've gone to my vet for a while.
Robin's a good poop story. She's got good poop stories.
That I do. Okay, so I kept taking my mom dog because she had diarrhea, and then the vet noticed that I was never coming in anymore for my mom dogs. And so he asked me one time, he called me up and he said, I have a dog that I can't get over diarrhea. Can you help this person if I send them to you?
That's awesome.
And so, Cheryl Barkley, that's the lady's name. So she still is buying pawTree and GastroPro Plus, and she had gone through every medication that Dr. Lamb could give her. Nothing would stop the diarrhea. So we got her over, and within 2 weeks, that dog was cleared up just fine. And so whenever Dr. Lamb has a dog that he cannot stop the diarrhea for, he sends them to me.
So, and that's a huge.
I'm the poo lady.
That's a huge compliment, you guys, and it also helps, especially because we're talking about breeding. Mamas they get gassy. We're giving them more product, like more calcium and more food, and sometimes
they eat a lot.
They eat a lot, and their bellies are all twisty turny, and sometimes they're a little gassy. And this helps with that gas. And I've also had in my training program some dogs where one of the concerns is my dog passes so much gas, and this will help. It really will help. And it's also good for a transition. I usually send my puppies, with my puppies, because when they transition out of your home into a new environment, there is that transition period where they're just like, my
stress, right?
Yeah, my mom is gone. My breeders that we love are gone. My litter mates are gone. And so, we give them some GastroPro in their food, and it helps settle their stomachs down a bit. And so that's another really awesome benefit to add to your program.
Yeah. The next thing we're going to talk about are the treats. They are made from the ingredients listed on the bag on the front. So like if you see that chicken and apples and kale, those are the only ingredients in there. It's raw freeze-dried. I don't give my dog a whole treat. I just break off a piece. He will do anything for those. They love them so much. They are very high in protein. So you don't give them a ton. You just give them a little bit. And then Lisa already mentioned her paw pairing. She takes the food, she sprinkles some of that on them, shakes it up, and it's a whole nother treat. But if you have a picky dog that doesn't like to eat the same thing every day, you just sprinkle some of that on the food, and it will make them very happy. It's made of 8 natural superfoods, so it doesn't upset their stomach, which I love. Also no fillers in it, and it's low calorie, so You can ask your vet, but most diabetic dogs can take it.
What matters most? The health of each puppy, right?
Oh, that it's us.
Yeah.
When we send that puppy home, that says what kind of breeder we are.
Absolutely. And you guys, I mean, I know you feel the same. I hope you feel the same, but we love our puppies. We love our puppies. We're selective as to where they go. We want to make sure that they have a great life and a great start. And one of the things with giving them that great start is we've done what we can do for the timeline that we have them. But when we send them out to other people, it's like, here's the torch, carry it through. And nutrition is absolutely a part of that process. Genetics has already happened. We've done what we can do as far as giving them that foundational work. And food is so important. It is so important. And it's just like, with humans, if there's an issue, one of the things that you really have to look at is, what's your diet like? Says the girl who had a Diet Coke right before I started this. But that is, it is the foundation. So if you take your puppies and you are sending them out with a really strong nutrition program, you are less likely to have these people, your families call you up and say, hey, we're dealing with diarrhea. We're dealing even down to behavioral issues. This really will help. And so it just gives me peace of mind to know that I am sending them out and they are going to continue to feed their dogs healthy food. Especially during that first year, that is the most critical time. And in fact, it's so important. In my contract, I reward the families if they feed pawTree for that first year. I take my 2-year genetic guarantee that all my puppies get and put it up to 5. That's because that is how much I believe in this product. That's best for the puppy, and it will have a better life, I think, health-wise. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's huge. And once you start this, you will see for yourself. And that's the thing that was my selling point. It wasn't just like, oh, well, this looks nice. This looks good. This is healthy. I have personally seen it happen over and over and over again where I'm like, wow, this is changing my program.
We're on generations of our dogs now.
Yeah.
I'm now on my 4th generation of dogs that have been on this. So I can see just the healthiness. I mean, we do the DNA testing, we do the pen hip, we do all that, but just to be able to give them the nutrition that makes their brain continue to grow and everything. Oh, so happy with it.
And I totally agree. And here's the thing too. I mean, so my sweet Summit, bless her heart, she had 14 puppies. And that's where I was like, whoa, like this made a big
Don't bless me this much.
And then she followed that with 12. And I was like, wow, but she has, and all her puppies are healthy. They are healthy puppies.
They're not skinny.
No, they're healthy puppies. And I will tell you, when you're a breeder, what do your people ask you? They ask you 3 things. What do you feed them? Who's your vet? Who's your groomer? And that's generally the 3 things that people always ask me. When you recommend a food or a groomer or a vet, they generally will stick with that person. So maybe they're not in the area. So, maybe my vet is not going to be their vet. But the food is the foundation, and that's going to follow them state to state, wherever they are. And I will tell you, respectful, reputable breeders, people trust our opinion. So when I give a recommendation, whether it's a food, toy, kennel, whatever, they listen to me. And so
we're not dumb.
Yeah, we're not. We know a thing or two. We know a thing or two. And so that's where it's really easy. What I do with my program is I say, okay, 2 weeks before you get that puppy home, here's the link. This is what I recommend. And then I will say I've had really great success with people ordering it. They don't hesitate. So that's been a great thing as well.
Yeah, I've had very good success with them ordering also and staying on it.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to talk about how you increase your cash flow, which is very important. I know we all love our dogs. I know that we want the very best for our dogs, but we still have to make good money so that we can continue to do this and provide the very best for our dogs. And so pawTree rewards you that you can earn up to 35% on everything that your puppy family spend on pawTree for the life of the dog. That's a lot of money that you can earn over it. Kathy, she's one of our breeders. She's been doing it for a very long time. She does kittens. She's worked for over...
Not kittens. Kittens. Just kidding.
You're so funny. So Kathy worked for 25 years as a professional, and she has a good pension. But after working for pawTree for only 3.5 years, her monthly income from commission from pawTree exceeds her monthly pension check. That's amazing. If you can add that, I would say quality of life, not just to her dogs, but to her own quality of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm hoping, that's where I'll get to, because I don't have a pension. This is my retirement.
You will get there, Robin.
Because that's what I'm planning on, because I love it so much. So we're going to walk you through a little bit of how much you can expect to make. So we're forecasting this for a 10-year income example for feeding and recommending pawTree. So this is based on one breeding female who will have 4 litters, 8 puppies per litter. So that's 32 puppies total. And we base this number placing a monthly order of $32.99. That's the least expensive bag of food. It's chicken and oatmeal or chicken and rice. So depending on how much you sell in new sales will do your commission rate. So if you have no new sales, you're at 10%. If you sell 100 to 199 of new product, you're at 25. $200 to $399, you're at 30. And if you sell over 400, which a lot of breeders don't have a problem with, you're at 35%. So with that one female, you'll make at the 10% level $12,668. And if you're up to the 25%, you'll make 31,000 plus. 30% you'll make 38,000 plus, and 35 you'll make 44. But do most breeders have just one dog?
Absolutely not.
And the next one is for 5 females. So it's up to 63,000, then 158,000, 190,000, 221,000 that you can make on your commission. Now, some people have a few more than 5 dogs, like 14. Like 14. I remember years ago when I had just 14 dogs. But okay, so say if you just have 10 females and you're at the 10%, you're going to make $126,000 over those 10 years. And then we're moving up to the 25%. You have 316,000 at the 30%, 380,000, and over $400 of new PV. You're at the 35%, and you're making $443,000. So not little nickel change.
And like Robin said, when you are in this arena, it's not difficult to get that 400 in new PV. I mean, when I first started, I thought it was difficult, and now I look back and I think, you're cute. Your old self was cute.
You underestimated yourself.
Because really, you guys, when you see the benefits, you want to share it. Like, you want people to understand the benefits of these products. And so for me, it's one of those things where I love to talk about it.
Really? We can't. We like to talk about it, don't we? Okay, so now we're going on to, no, that's right.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, it looked exactly the same.
It does, except for the numbers. So this is if their monthly order is $75. So to get your free shipping, you can add 3 supplements on, like 3 paw pairings or something like that. Gives you free shipping. We find out that those orders are at least $75. I rarely have an order under that anymore. So you can see the numbers, and we're going to go all the way to the end already. If you have 10 females, and so if you're at the 10%, you're making $288,000 over those 10 years. But look at this: when you go up to 25%, you're making $720,000 over those 10 years. At 30%, $864,000, and at 35%, you're now over $1 million.
I mean, it sounds too good to be true, but it's true.
I like having my income, and I won't lie.
So this is a true story. I was sitting with Amber and Nancy, and I was promoting, okay, because for years I was just like, I want to just sell the products.
We need to tell you that Amber and Nancy have been with the company from the beginning. Yeah, so
they're awesome. They're awesome. And I was sitting with them, and they were telling me over and over in a very nice, loving way, hey, Lisa, you ought to build your team. And I was like, no, I want to just share the product. I'm fine. And I truly meant
just want to make enough to pay for my dog food.
Yep. And I would say that over and over. And I really did mean it. I was really like, okay, that's what I want to do. And then I started promoting. And I will tell you, you guys, this sounds kind of crazy, but money, I didn't think ever really motivated me. I was like, I'm motivated by love, and I'm motivated by, like, I helped all these animals. And then Amber took a picture. She did a little screenshot of my paycheck before I promoted. And then she took a little screenshot of my paycheck after I promoted. And I literally was floored. I was like, wait, what? And now I'm kind of motivated by money. No, I am. Like, I am. It's a game changer. It's a game changer to my program. It's a game changer for, what I purchased for my dogs. It's definitely going to help me with some lifestyle changes. So I'm super excited about it. But, you want to trust your pet pro that has introduced you to this program. And if I could do it over again, I would have jumped in 100%.
Yeah.
And not just been like, oh, I'm fine.
Okay, so I've been with the company for about 6 months. I went to the convention. It's called PawFest, and I love the camaraderie that the other people in pawTree have. Whether you're a breeder, a trainer, you just love dogs, whatever. Everyone is so kind and loving to each other. And I'm sitting there in this meeting, and I'm like, wait, you mean I can make money doing this?
You have that.
Not just have a healthy dog and like the little hamster on the wheel started turning. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to think about how I need to do this. I like having really healthy dogs. And we have to point out that pawTree has the most generous comp plan there is out there. 35%, it is so easy to follow. And if you don't want to build a team, you don't have to. It's more money you can make.
Right.
But so these numbers right here that you're reading are not from a team. They're from your own personal selves.
Right.
If you don't want to help anyone, like, get on your team, or you don't have the time or energy, you're okay. You're still going to make lots of money.
And you guys,
we're really fun.
We are so fun. And I will tell you, I've done both things. I've done the, team of one. And then I've done the let's build a team. And, again, it's completely up to you, but I'm really happy that you've got options. You've absolutely got options.
When you opt into being a pet pro, they have simple systems and tools set up in place to help you. You get your website, you have an app where you can keep track of things and send out notices to other people. There's custom recommendation page that you can make. So like I do 2 different breeds of dogs, and I can because one sort of food is better for one than the other. And so they just click on that when they go to my site, and they order what I suggested for them. And then I've mentored other breeders in the pawTree community. You help me with different things we need. And so I love the people. Yeah, you're going to make a recommendation anyway to the dogs of what they should be eating. And so you might as well get something that you know is going to be healthy, right? And that you're going to continue to make money on. And what I love is that you can see that they're still feeding it to them years down the road.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really good too, because there's a lot of other products. And so I probably once every couple of weeks will get a text message or a call from somebody who has ordered in the past saying, okay, now we need to change this, or now my dog's dealing with this. And pawTree just keeps adding more products, and it's amazing.
One of the things we forgot to mention was they have the pet profile. Mm-hmm. So you can go on there, you put your pet's picture on it, and you name it like its name or its food or
Biscuits brunch.
Yes, or like I have Highland Golden Doodles on mine. And so the food comes with the picture of your dog, with the name under it, and everyone is just totally amazed. Like people would say to me all the time, you have time to make your own food too?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, but I did take the time to find the best place to get my food.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's kind of a fun way, like a little additional thing that you can do.
Yeah, so we just have some quotes from some other breeders that are here on pawTree. And so Tim Target said one for us.
So he said, my Samoyeds no longer look like homeless, shaggy dogs after they give birth. Their coats stay thick and they shed less, which is really awesome when you know that breed of dog.
And I'll give Lisa's quote that's right there.
Oh,
She's been able to improve her breeding program by not having to base her decisions on a limited cash flow.
Absolutely.
So when you're thinking, oh, if I were able to buy this dog for my program, I would have better quality. I don't have that money. That's kind of steep for me. You don't have to make those because you have the money. You have that flexibility to do that. And then this quote from G, which we just love. She's been a breeder for over 25 years. She and her mother both. And she said that puppies wean very well to the pawTree dog food. The poop volume is much smaller than any other commercial food she's ever fed. And the odor is much less offensive. And we've talked about poo.
You guys know what we're talking about. When you wake up in the morning,
it's all about the poop.
You can clean up all day long, and you wake up in the morning, and there's a special kind of smell in your house, even if you've slept for 2 hours, or 15 minutes.
Yep.
So that's a big one.
So we have several different kits you can become involved in pawTree with it. First, there's the simple one, the enrollment kit, which has some samples in it and some of the paperwork that you need. Mm-hmm. And then you want to talk about the biggie?
So the big one is the $299. Its retail value is about $630. You've got the access to. That's what I jumped in with. When I joined the company. Mine was. They had a totally different setup, but I was like, I want it all, and I have no regrets whatsoever. But this is kind of what I recommend, and the reason why I do is it's going to give you a lot of products to try. It's going to give you guys can dissect this and be like, oh, wow, that's what's in here. And that's why this is beneficial. You can also test it out on your dogs or your cats, and you can see,
Okay, I have to tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
So I took it to I was in a business networking, and I took my paw pairings and I gave them a little spiel about it, passed the ball around. Yeah, the men tried it.
No. Ate it?
Yeah, they said it doesn't taste that bad. I was like, okay. And they didn't have bad breath after either, so I thought that was really interesting. Sorry, off topic, but there you go.
That's kind of funny, though. Yeah, so it's not for human consumption, but if you want to,
it's human grade, though.
But it is human grade. Yeah, but that's like the big kit. I love it because you can try. You can see I'm a package person. Like you can see the packaging and you can read the ingredients and you can really get to know what's inside the product. But there's also another product that is $175, $175.99. Yeah. And it's just a little less than the big one, but it's definitely worth looking into that as well. Yeah. So
one's basically for dogs,
yeah,
and one's basically for cats,
right.
So you can choose which one will work better for you. I know which one works better for me.
Yeah.
So you get your website for free for the first 3 months. That includes the app. Mm-hmm. So we have all the training material that you need. It has samples in it for you. It has a car decal if you want to put on your car. Then it has treats, it has paw pairings, and it has supplements like the allergy support, which, by the way, so much cheaper than taking Aquaquel.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep. Or steroid shots, which is what my lab had to do. Yep. The other thing that it has that I really love is a product called Chillax. And
we haven't talked about Chillax at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
It's a changer.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, I like to test. Is this really helping? Is this really helping? And I have done Chillax. I've done the Chillax with CBD. And over the pandemic that we've experienced, I thought I would try my luck on grooming. Do not have me groom your dog. I'll just put that out there.
But they were really calm for you, weren't they?
Well, I have one mama and this was one of my guardian dogs that she really is terrified of the sound of the buzzer. And it was like, it's hard to groom her because it breaks your heart because she's just nervous. And I did Chillax and it definitely took the edge off. And then the next time I groomed her, I did Chillax with CBD.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was amazing. And she wasn't, shaking. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal when there's fireworks or there's thunder or you take them to the groomers, which, you all have to groom maybe not everybody has to groom their dog, but you have to take them to get their nails clipped or the grooming. And it is a phenomenal product.
I can't believe we didn't talk about it.
I need some Chillax from time to time.
All right, so once you're enrolled, you'll get the ability to earn 35% on every food and supplement purchase for the life of each puppy that your puppy buyers do, and your own purchases, of course.
And then you'll also get a simple customized recommendation pages for your puppy buyers where they can see your suggestions, your pawTree products to your specific litters. And so that's super helpful.
Yep. We'll also have a quick reference guide on weaning your puppies to pawTree kibble, the steps we go through so you don't have the diarrhea in between. And I'll tell you, I love that. So talk to the pet pro that sent you here, that gave you this to watch, because they'll be able to help you go through it. We're always here to help you train. Your pet pro, though, will help you the most. And you'll form a great relationship with them. And then if you come to PawFest, you'll get us and meet us.
You guys, thank you so much for listening to this. I wish you all the best in your breeding experience and your adventures. And I will tell you personally, this is something I will never regret doing.
And we would have never met each other.
And we would have never met each other.
I know, even though we live really close.
So. That is true. All right, you guys, enjoy.